what the heck is wrong with me? Or other such choice words. I asked this question to myself way too many times to even think about. And I never got an answer until recently. Hey, it's John, your Mindset Moto guy, coming to you with your daily upshift. So, what's wrong with me? I asked this question. I wonder if you've asked this question about yourself and just never come up with an answer. You know, maybe even Googled that question or YouTube searched that question and just wondered, you know, what the heck is wrong with me? Why I can't do the things that I want to do or the things I know how to do? Why can't I take the action? Why can't I, you know, kind of take off and do the thing I want to do? Why can't I learn a language? Why can't I start a business? Why can't I ask that girl on a date? Why, you know, just all these different questions that all come down. Why? And, you know, what's wrong with me? I can't do these things is the baseline question that sends, you know, that we all seem to end up with. And the reality is, I learned that, guess what? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with any of us. The way we were born into this world, awesome, perfect, and we started getting programmed and conditioned to believe certain things, to do certain things in a certain way, to eat certain foods. All these things were all due to our upbringing. We don't naturally do a lot of the things that we do. We do them because that's what we grew up with. If you like spicy food, you're probably from a region or a culture that likes spicy food. If you don't like spicy food or you can't stand spicy food, you didn't grow up around that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's as simple as that. Or if you're, you know, not, you know, people that are afraid of motorcycling versus people that love motorcycling. You probably grew up around people that motorcycled or people that hated it and didn't think anything of it, you know, or maybe just the opposite. Maybe you rebelled against people that thought motorcycling was bad. But again, you were rebelling, you know, you weren't doing it necessarily because that was the thing. You were doing it because it was the anti thing. But the idea here is that all the stuff that we're doing is the result of this thing we call your mistaken identity. I've also referred to it as having a bad passenger in your mind. We've all had a bad passenger. If you're taking a motorcycle out, you got a passenger on the back and they're wiggling around and they're doing all kinds of stupid things to keep you, the competent motorcycle rider, from being able to control and balance your bike in a good way. All this passenger's doing is trying to mess you up. And in that same way, you have a bad passenger, most likely in your mind, that's riding around making it difficult for you to do the things that you know intellectually how to do, but you struggle, and then you say, well, what's wrong with me? And there's nothing wrong with you. It's the fact that you've got this bad passenger in your mind that's messing things up, and it's been put there against your will. If you want to think about it, it was put there by your friends at school, your neighborhood, your parents, your teachers, your church. And I'm not saying everything's all bad by any stretch of the imagination, but everything that you do and believe in because of all the conditioning you had as a kid growing up. Good and bad, whatever serves you, whatever doesn't serve you. And if you grew up in a different part of the world, you have a very different take on your day-to-day stuff than somebody from another part of the world. Not to say everything's right, wrong, or whatever, but the idea is just to realize that you are the product of your environment. And the good thing about that is that you can become the product of your own environment of your choosing. You can create your own environment. And you might not be able to physically move your environment, but you can certainly decide to change your perspective. And you can decide to not let this mistaken identity perspective jump in every time you see something and you want to do it, and you decide, all right, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to get in shape, and you start it, and then right away, no, that's too different. We don't want to do that. Your mistaken identity comes in, and it's the neutralizer, if you will, that stops you from making these changes in your life that you want to make. You know how to make. As I remember listening to Gary Vee, he said, we all know how to be healthy, eat properly and exercise, but there's a multi-billion-dollar business around trying to figure that out. And the problem is not the techniques, it's not the special sauce, it's not all the different things. It's frankly the and this mistaken identity. Okay, we're stopping in the intersection for fun. All right. So all of it comes down to this mistaken identity that's bothering us and keeping us out of, in our own way, if you will. And that's the big thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, is just realizing that you do have this alter ego that's living inside of you that causes you to make decisions or not make decisions. It causes you to procrastinate on things. It causes you to sit on the couch and watch videos or play video games, or even watch videos like this. I appreciate you watching, but, I want you to get up and embrace life and engage in it and not be constantly lost with stuff. Frankly, I found, for me, I was lurking. I spent so much time watching videos of all these amazing humans that were just doing fantastic things in life, and the more I saw that, the worse I felt, because I wasn't doing those things, and now I knew better, and it actually made me feel worse. So, knowledge is power, and knowledge is not power. Utilizing the knowledge that you've learned is powerful, but knowing things actually makes things tend to feel worse if you're not feeling that way. Now, I try not to watch anything unless I have a specific skill. I need to learn this thing. What is it? I watch it, and the moment I figure it out, I get out of there. I try to get out of there. Is it easy? No. Is it easy to get trapped into the scroll? Of course it is. That's what the scroll's for. That's what it's meant to do, is keep you watching. So it's real hard. You got to fight with it, but it's your mistaken identity that just keeps you glued to your couch and glued to your phone. And, knowing that thing exists is the first big step in how to get rid of it. So I want to cover a lot more on this stuff because it's something I'm obviously very passionate about. You can probably hear it in my voice. And I'm going to be doing a lot more with it and even teaching some stuff on it coming up here pretty soon. So I'd love to get your feedback and what your thoughts are on this, and if it's something you've experienced. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, think about the last time you went for a motorcycle ride and how at peace you felt and how relaxed and present you felt. That was the you underneath that mistaken identity. That was there is nothing wrong with you person that's under there, that's under the wraps of this big, mistaken identity. And don't get me wrong, this mistaken identity is really powerful. You've spent years and years and years listening to it like I did. So with that, hope you guys have an amazing day. Ride well, ride often, and if you feel so much, please subscribe. Ciao.